Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to install and review the Blagdon Clean Pond Machine with UV filter and also the Blagdon IQ Pond Pump. So I really wanted to do a video today about filter systems for smaller ponds like this one. Majority of the people in this country have smaller ponds, and there's also lots of people who have ponds like this are elderly as well. And the filter system we're going to put on today is easy to clean. You don't have to open anything up. It should make life a lot easier. Customers had this pond for a little while now, and they got a bit fed up with the old filter system that they had, especially when it comes to cleaning it. Okay, so here's the old equipment. So an old UV separate and a hose lock filter box with the UV built in. Obviously, as you can see, it's all seen better days. When it was new, obviously it worked quite well, but the customer finds it a bit of a pain to clean. She has to take the foams out. She's elderly. She's asked her to get something a little bit easy to clean, and ideally something she doesn't have to open up each time when it comes to cleaning. So if you're new to the channel, we're here to give you genuine, good, honest advice. We won't install rubbish equipment, and we certainly won't install rubbish equipment to any of our customers, and we most definitely won't recommend to buy something that just doesn't work or isn't worth the money. If you like the video, hit the like button and also click subscribe if you'd like to see some more videos coming up. So a couple of interesting points about this filter. First of all, there's no foam. The media, it's called chite media, so it's like plastic media, all locks together, and never actually needs to be replaced. So it has a lifetime warranty on that, which is nice. You don't have to replace it. The other interesting feature about the filter has the ability to introduce pods to the filter. These go into the top of the unit. You actually have to open the lid to put them in. We'll go over what the pods do a bit more later on in the video, and we'll see if we think they're actually worth it or not. So the pump we're using is the Amphibious IQ by Blagdon. Now, I like these pumps. We've used these quite a few times before. Actually gives you the option to slow down the motor by changing the wattage, so the power consumption being used by the pump itself. It goes from 17 watts up to 35 watts, so you can actually control the amount of power you use rather than using a valve, which actually slows the flow down but just puts a lot of back pressure on your pump. Okay, so let's open the box and see what we've got inside. That's the cleaning handle attached to the top of the spinning unit. See, packaged fairly well, I guess. Just a box with some bubble wrap around the filter itself. It does feel like it's been made out of decent materials, and your standard hose tails with your rubbers and seals, and here's a few pods that come through with the filter unit itself. Okay, so time to open up the pump, see what we've got. I'm guessing it's going to be the same as the filter, but the bubble wrap, yep. Nothing too fancy, but it is just a pump, it is a filter, so there's no need to go over the top of the packaging. Again, hose tail to connect to your pipe, and the pump itself. So again, feels like it's made out of decent materials. Cable's nice and thick, and inside the pump you also have the remote control, which connects directly to the cable. Gives you the ability to actually control the flow rate. So now all the unboxing is done, it's time to install it. It's quite a basic installation, this one. Obviously get all the old equipment out, detach the old UV, get rid of all the old pipes, any cables, and other connecting items. So this box, you can undo the valve, save you having to break your back, try to take the whole thing full of water and sludge out. Once that's out, cut off any other pipes and take the box out. Sort out the electrics, so switch off the mains first, and time to set up the filter itself. So that clicks straight into place on the handle, that helps spin around whilst you hold it. So the yellow handle is to access the pod compartment. Again, it's made out of nice material, it fits in and feels like it seals really well. And for when it comes to backwashing, it's as easy as that, just spin it around. Let's have a little look, open her up, see what's inside. All pressure filters have a seal around the top, so make sure that goes back in when you put it back together. And here's the char media we were talking about. So it's just plastic pieces and obviously interlocked together, traps all the dirt inside, and then when you twist the handle, everything gets dislodged. Whilst it's on backwash, then all the dirt makes its way out down the waste pipe. And also importantly, if you ever did have to get into it, is it easy to get put back together? And to be honest, it was pretty straightforward, no complaints there. Hose tail's pretty standard, rubber seal and a thread, just make sure it's all in place in the right way and seal her up. Now you can use a cap if you want to seal off the actual waste pipe, but when we put them in we like to do a permanent connection, so we show you how we do that. Okay, so it's time to get the filter into place. Roughly get it where you want it. And then this is quite important, so when you're connecting your hose, make sure you actually use the correct hose end. So see which one is the right one, and then it's important you cut off the excess. If needed, add a bit of plumber's tape to create a watertight seal. Put the hose back on, and followed by a decent band Jubilee clip. We prefer these compared to the wire ones because they can pinch and pierce the pipe. Get everything back together again, tighten everything up. Make sure all your pipes are connected properly, both ends. Once that's in, take them off again, and it's time to do the electrics. So this is the ballast unit for the UV. Simply just fix it into place. There's a couple little screws on the actual ballast, and the same for the remote control. So what I like to do is get everything into place and then put the filter back in and connect it all up. So that's how it looks, more or less, fitted, electrics wise. Filter back in, connect back up again. Same thing for the pump. Check which hose tail you actually need and then cut off the rest. Pump cage is sturdy clips, these will pop off nice and easy, for easy access, and just slips off. Hose onto the pump, and again, decent Jubilee clip to secure into place. Like to tidy up cable, I always tend to tie up the cable against the hose, so you can just pull on the actual hose itself rather than the cable to get the pump out. Okay, then it's time to connect to the remote control. It's really easy. Plug it in and secure it into place. Once that's in, finish off the electrics. This is quite nice. You can actually see the different wattages that you can increase and decrease the pump power to. So this in turn slows the pump down, which is nice. So you might fancy in the winter you might want to have the pump, or you're not actually using your waterfall, so you might want to slow that down a bit. So, okay, time to connect the waste pipe. Tidy up the cables. And now the pump's running, I'll show you how to put it in one of the little pods. So this little pod, open it up. Whilst the pump's on, that will all drain out. Pod goes in. And as simple as that, cap goes back on. Pretty damn simple if you ask me. Quite impressed with that. And off it goes again. Okay, a little demo of how to back flush the filter. So whilst it's all on, twist the nozzle to back flush. That then diverts the water out down your waste pipe. Whilst that's going, twist the handle, give it a few times until the water runs clear, and then back to filter again. So overall, it's a good replacement for the filter system that the customer had. She's very happy with it. She's had a go on how to clean it herself, which is the main thing. That's the whole point of this video, show you how you can have a nice little filter system on a smaller pond that's easy to look after. So as you can see, pump's on, everything's running nicely. You know, these sorts of pond filters are ideal for smaller ponds with low stock fish. You know, if you're going to have a bigger pond with lots of fish in, you might want to consider like a bigger sort of box style filter really. Okay, so that's the end of the installation. So I'll just go through a few pros and cons of the system. So in general, we thought it was, you know, built really well. Plastics are nice and they feel good. Feels like, you know, parts will last quite a while. Handles of backwashing in the pods also felt like they would last, and the seals probably would, outlive their warranty ideally. Cleaning it, if you're looking for something easy to clean, this is a great filter for that. I've already said that on the actual video itself. The backwash system works really well, so that's a massive pro. There aren't any foams, which is nice. We're a big fan of filters that don't need foams. Foams can become solid after time if you're not maintaining them properly, especially on backwash systems. And also they may actually need changing altogether. Adding the pods is a great feature. We really like that. This is the first time that we've used Blagdon pods, so if I'm being honest, I'm not too sure how well they will work. In general, our honest opinion about using chemicals is not to use them if you don't have to. However, the additives that we do use, majority of the time, is to treat blanket weed and also remove chlorine out of the tap water. So if they help with that, then I think it's a brilliant idea. If you stock your pond properly and you do usual maintenance, you don't need to worry about adding ponds to eat sludge and reduce filter maintenance. So don't worry if you did have the pod system and you ran out. So a mature pond will in fact look after itself in many ways. The installation is pretty simple. Like all pressure filters, you can install them buried in the ground if you wanted to, or externally below the water level, so it doesn't require gravity to work. Changing the UV is really easy. The end cap just simply unthreads, and you can take the UV bulb out of there. This model has an 11-watt UV bulb, by the way. 4 different sizes: a 7,000, 10,000, 13, and a 16,000. If you're going to buy one, just look at the size pond you've got. If you were buying this particular model, we'd suggest make sure the pond was no more than 5,000 liters at max, with moderately stocked fish. The last thing really we talk about is the price. So this is a biggie. So it's about at the moment about £225 to buy. That's the filter on its own. So I say that's a massive pro, especially for what you're getting. If you compare it to a different brand, so we install these quite a lot as well. So the Owaza filter clears. So I think this is a 13,000, which is the nearest model to this one. So it is a bit bigger, but that's about £365. So it's quite a big difference in price, and it's also foam based. And a lot of elderly customers we install it for have mentioned that they can't actually backwash the filter, and it's quite difficult to do. So they just don't have the strength of that. The warranty is decent, 3-year warranty on the filter as well. So lots of companies only offer 2 years, especially on filter systems. Okay, the cons. There's only a few cons, minor ones really. We noticed there was a small dribble of water coming from the waste pipe. So that's when the backwash wasn't actually on. So there's only a little bit of a dribble, but we plumbed the waste pipe in a bit higher than, sorry, the end of the waste pipe a bit higher than the actual waste outlet, so the water obviously couldn't go up because it wasn't under pressure. It just looked like a little leak. Um, Obviously, it's not ideal to have water loss, but it was minimal to be fair, but it's something you could just improve on. And the ballast would be nice for the UV if it was actually built into the UV, because it is a bit of a pain having to install it separately. It is a small issue, but it will just make installation a tad bit easier. Other than that, I would say it's a great little filter, especially for a small pond like this one. In the video, moderately stock fish. There are some fish going back in this pond. So if you're looking for a filter for a smallish pond, especially one that's easy to clean, I think this is a great buy. And for the pump, we quite like these pumps. We've used them before. I've already mentioned that. Changing the flow by adjusting the actual power usage is a great idea, especially because that stops you having to plumb in a valve. Obviously, the valves don't actually slow the pump down. The pump still spins the same speed, and then it can put pressure on it and actually blow it off. There's an auto off feature on the pump. So if the water got too low, it would recognize that and switch itself off. And also, it's got motor protection system, so if it got jammed or blocked, it will tell you that it needs cleaning. So that's pretty decent too. And also, the warranty is a 3-year on the pump, where most pumps have 2-year warranties, and lots of them have an annoying, oh, it's a 3-year warranty if you register. So you get 2 years, and then you have to register for the extra year, which is just annoying from a customer's point of view. And the price as well, £185, really good. compared to some of the other pumps. Some of the other pumps are more than double for the amount of water this one can actually pump. So for the same sort of amount of water, you're paying double the price. Only small con I would say really about the pump is the cage of the pump could be a bit bigger. That's only just so it would slow it down when it becomes blocking up. So if the cage was big, it would draw water around from a larger area and wouldn't get blocked up as quick from leaves and other debris. But in general, great pump all round. Recommend it. Recommend both of these actually. And that's about it. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you liked it, click on the like button. If you'd like to see some more, click on subscribe. And thank you for watching.